Summer is officially here, baby, and we could think of no better way to stay cool this summer than by giving back to others. On September 1st, Laura and I will be donating $1 for every rating and $2 for every written review on Apple Podcasts to a charity that you, our listeners, get to help us pick. Follow us on our socials at Impolite Society Podcast to find out more about how we're going to be picking our charity and to weigh in and let us know what charity you want us to support. But that's not it, because not only are you helping us help others, you also have a chance to help yourself. Not only are we going to be cutting a check to a charity on September 1st, we are also going to be choosing a written review at random to win a $50 gift card and some Impolite Society swag. So if you leave us a review, let us know by taking a screenshot and emailing it to us at rude@impolitesocietypodcast.com or slip it into the DMs of any of our socials. Fixing this messed up world is hard, but when you take a couple seconds to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts, you can rest assured that you did something positive with your summer and you helped us improve the world $1 at a time. Thank you so much for listening. Now to the show.
You're listening to Impolite Society with Laura and Rachel.
Okay, I feel like we're good. I feel like we're loose. I feel like we're ready to get this show on the road.
Hell yeah, we are.
I got 2 openers on the book.
2 openers.
I got the one that I have that's like very much more traditional Impolite Society that involves singing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have another one that's completely out of left field. And I'm going to give you the option. And, I've already going to include all of this part where I'm giving you the option. So just know that whatever you choose, the listener is hearing you choose it, and whatever comes in their ear bones, they know it is your fault.
Okay, I'm gonna choose the singing because I like this song. I know what song you're gonna sing, and I'm into it.
Okay, here we go. Riding my pony, my saddle's swaying. Come on and jump on it. Yeah, that's
Genuine.
Genuine, his famous song, Pony.
Woo!
You have to admit, that's a really, really sexy song.
It's a fun song. I don't know if it's sexy, but it is fun.
It's sexy. It's sexy. Magic Mike. Grrr.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that.
Oh, yeah. Now that you got that nice, sexy image in your head, hold it there, treasure it, because I'm going to fucking ruin this song for you.
Yay!
I
love ruining
all of the sexiness out of it, and you're only going to be able to think about one thing when this conversation is done. But before I do, I should probably say who's going to be ruining the fun or the sexiness for you. And this is Impolite Society. This is a podcast where we dig into taboo topics every 2 weeks by asking each other rude questions. And this is...
Really?
Yes. Well, you said the singing. You set me down the path of the singing.
That's Rachel, the one who has to sing everything.
Hey, yeah.
I'm Laura.
And that's just Laura.
Laura.
Just Laura. We are your co-hosts of Impolite Society, and we have a fun episode for you today because I got a rude question, but being extra, as I am, I have to lay the groundwork before I get to my rude question for the day.
Got it?
Are you ready for it?
Oh, I'm ready.
And my rude question begins with just a regular question, a regular run-of-the-mill question, and that is, are you familiar with a sexy little appliance called a bidet?
I am.
What is a bidet? Do tell me, Laura.
It is a butt washer or a vag washer. I love bidets. When I was going to Italy, I was like, every hotel we stay in has to have a bidet. Not because I have a bidet in my house, but because I like unique experiences. And I'm like, you know what? I want to get my cooter washed by an appliance that washes cooters and buttholes. We got to do it everywhere we go.
Bidet all day, baby.
Damn straight.
But yeah, that's exactly what a bidet is. It is defined by bidet.org, the most reputable of bidet resources.
Bidet.org.
It's an organization. It defines a bidet as a special plumbing fixture or accessory that allows you to use water to wash your genitals, anus, and inner buttocks after using the bathroom. Which, let me tell you, genitals is not a word I use enough.
Cooter is a better word.
Genitals. Cooter, genitals, and inner buttocks. Buttocks.
Your ass crack, in other words.
Oh, is that what that meant? I thought it meant like your thighs and stuff. I was like, some
inner
people must...
buttocks is definitely a butt crack situation.
Oh, I definitely was thinking some people are just real sloppy. But it's essentially made for, like you said, watching your ass and your cooter. And there's several different options for how you can do it. Some of them are standalone basins that you would see in your hotels in Italy. Other types of bidet can simply be a hose that kind of lives next to your toilet that you take off and kind of squirt, squirt, squirt. And we even have attachments these days that fit right in your toilet seat lid or your toilet seat so that when you're done, you can just have a little, ooh.
I've seen those, like where they're just like a fake toilet. Oh, not a fake toilet seat, but they're, like an attachment toilet seat that the toilet seat had everything you need to create the bidet.
Exactly. And so if you haven't pieced it together or if you're not familiar with the bidet itself, we said it's for cleaning your butthole. We've talked about what it looks like, but how exactly does it keep you fresh and clean down below? Well, and that's simply done through spritzing it with water. So typically it involves getting a direct stream, whether you're facing forward or backward. It's going to get that water jet in there and it's going to leave you feeling fresh as a daisy. So you said that you've only reserved Italian hotels with bidets. Did you take full advantage of the bidets while you were there?
Of course I did. That's why I said I wanted a hotel room with one. I absolutely used it. It did create a bit of a conundrum. So, you finish your business and you wipe, and then in the hotel rooms I had, it was a separate appliance. So I get off the toilet, go over to the bidet. To the bidet and get the jets of water. And then I'm like, okay, do I dry myself off with toilet paper or with a hand towel? And a hand towel feels wrong.
No.
Yes.
I would say the toilet paper,
yes.
You should not have wiped immediately after. You should have saved the TP for after you hosed down.
Well, okay, so that's what I did because, like I said, a hand towel inevitably feels wrong. But then the toilet paper, toilet paper and like a lot of wetness don't really go together.
It
and it kind of exactly. So I did the wiping, then moved to the bidet, and then a pat dry with the TP.
That feels right.
Yeah. But then the bidet doesn't flush, so then you have to put it in the toilet and then flush it. So when it's one unit, I think it makes a little bit more sense. But, these were kind of older hotel rooms, so they had the separate fixture.
That does feel like a lot of work and a lot of movement.
Yes.
Maybe that's why the Europeans are so thin. They just have to waddle back and forth between their toilets and their bidets all day.
All those steps, all day, every day.
I, on the other hand, have not used one, but I've definitely seen it. I definitely have seen it in my European travels, my extravagant European travels. No, just kidding. I saw it, I'm pretty sure, in high school, and I didn't know what it was, and I just kind of left it alone. I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how that's... But I regret it every day of my life because I feel like it's got to feel so clean and so fresh. And, like...
There is a sushi restaurant in the town I live in that has a bidet attached to its public restroom.
Wow.
We should go there.
We should. I gotta check it out. Check it out.
Public bidets.
Well, okay, and that makes a lot of sense because bidets are very common in Japan and as well as many other places in the world, including Southern Europe, so your France, your Italy, South America, and India. So while you can find a bidet in a lot of places in those parts of the world, a place that you're not very apt to find a bidet is the great...
USA!
Yeah.
USA! USA!
Well, home of the bald eagles and the skid marks. So this leads me to my rude question today. What is it about bidets that just makes us Americans so freaking squeamish? Why are we so weirded out about it?
We're protective of our buttholes. That's Laura's theory.
God made the butthole precious. Can't just be letting water in there.
Protect the butthole. Hashtag protect the butthole.
That's what you want to do when you're in prison and next to a bidet.
Hashtag protect the butthole.
That. I don't know if I can even leave that in. That was a great
I
joke.
think that was hilarious, and you should definitely keep it in.
So to get to the bottom of this conundrum, and I don't think the answer is just we're precious about our buttholes. As much as each of our buttholes are precious. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So to get to the bottom of it, we'll have to go back to the very beginning, the birth of the bidets. But before we dig into the bidet origin story, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. We're all on equal squirting ground here. And we are bidet savvy. So I went on good old Quora.com and I looked up some Q&As about bidets that I figure we could just, knock out right now.
Set the stage. Set the bidet stage.
Exactly. So Laura, you want to read the question and then I, the bidet expert, will chime in?
Absolutely. Can men use a bidet? Do their testicles get in the way?
Oh, I didn't even realize that was the concern. But yes, a man can fucking use a bidet. They have assholes too. And that's why we say you sit forward, you sit backward. The water comes, whatever way you need to get it. You can position yourself so the water gets to where it needs to get. So yes, men can use a bidet.
How tall do you have to be to use a bidet? I'm quite short, and I'm afraid I will fall in.
Rest assured, dear Quora question asker, you can definitely use a bidet regardless of your height. If you can sit your ass down on a toilet, you can straddle a bidet any day. And the answer that I saw on Quora said, you are not going to fall in unless somebody pushes you. And if somebody pushes you into a bidet, that's a whole different scenario. That's a whole nother question for Quora.
Do I have to use the toilet before using the bidet?
That is a good question. And that all comes down to semantics, right? So, technically, no, you don't have to use the toilet before using the bidet. If you've just been wearing leather pants for a while and you just need to freshen up.
Or you just had sex. I feel like that's definitely useful for some after-sex cleanup.
Or before sex preparation.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yes. So technically, you do not have to use the toilet before using bidet. There is no exclusivity clause that said I have to shit before I hop on a bidet. But I will say, if you are going to use both, you should shit, then get on the bidet.
Not the other way around.
Yeah, don't make your ass clean and then take a dump and then just walk out. Do the Laura pat dry in the sleeve.
That's an improper usage. That's a bidet offense.
Yeah, no. And also, talk to somebody, please. See someone about that.
Can I wash my baby in the bidet?
Jesus fucking Christ. No, do not wash your baby in the bidet. I know a bidet kind of looks, if you Google it, it looks kind of like a baby bathtub. Not going to lie. But it's a fucking toilet.
There's shit in there, people. Don't put your baby in there.
It's for cleaning your genitals and your asshole and your buttocks. And it makes me worried about humanity that somebody even asked that.
As a mom, I guess I can get it. I mean, if I have a small...
As a mom, you wanted to wash your baby in a bidet.
It just seems easy. Like you have... I get... If you were to clean the hell out of that bidet toilet, and you only used it for a baby bathtub, yeah, sure, why not?
Wait, okay, we might just be misinterpreting this question completely wrong. What if they want to wash their baby's genitals and anus on the bidet?
Oh! Absolutely. You're completely right. Yeah, I would love to, just hold him over that. Hose him down. You're right. We're completely misinterpreting the question. It's not a baby bathtub. It can also be used to spray your baby's butt.
Yes. So instead of dipping your baby into the toilet, which is, I imagine, how you clean a baby, you just kind of dunk them in the toilet and just shit them
like
around,
that.
agitate it a little bit. You could just spray them down with oh my God. Me and the person on Quora got that. We misinterpreted this question entirely. This is breaking news
external
right now.
buttocks get all poopy. So yeah, I could definitely. You just kind of hover them around the spray point. I'm here for it. I'm into it.
I started that as a joke, but it became very real because I was trying to imagine a little baby straddling a bidet. We should get a bidet and a baby bidet.
The baby bidet, brought to you by Impolite Society.
It would be cute, but also frightening. Okay. So I feel like at this point, we talked about what a bidet is, how do we use it, and some FAQs about bidet use. So I feel like we're all pretty bidet proficient at this point, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into why we are so grossed out by the concept of washing our assholes. And what a blast of water to our favorite sphincter has to do with Genuine. Right when we come back.
Quite a teaser.
I have stepped up my level of professionalism in this outline, I feel.
Check out Tweets Ahead, an Irish podcast where we discuss our favourite tweets and trends from the week. Whether it's social, political, or from the world of sports, we love the unpredictable mess that is Twitter. You can listen to us on platforms such as Apple, Anchor, Spotify, Amazon, Castbox, and more. And you can even follow us on Twitter at TweetsAheadCast.
Like, until around the mid-92nd, Donald Trump was a Democrat.
Men haven't been playing women in plays for a long time, Sean.
I wonder, is that something that's just on Twitter, this whole left and right thing?
I feel like I have to explain like a lot of in-jokes there in a short space of time. It's America's ass.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hope you enjoyed that drum interlude and maybe a message from another indie podcast. Woohoo! But you are here because you are very, very curious, weirdly curious about bidets and why we're so weirded out by them. But it's okay, we are too. So to get to the bottom, wink, 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 of why bidets make us feel so fucking uncomfortable here in the US of A, we need to get back to the beginning. And to do that, I'm going to give you a very simple set of directions, Laura. You ready to go back in time?
I'm ready.
Okay, first, we need to make a jump to the left.
Woo!
And then a step to the right.
And then a step to the right.
Oh, you caught on so fast. We are doing the time warp. And we are going back. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And we are in the very beautiful 1600s. AKA the 17th century. Did I get that right?
Wait. It's okay. Yes. You got it right.
Woo!
It takes me a second all the time.
I can do history.
I have to think back to like year one.
Well, that's okay. That is okay, because if you are like me and Laura, and maybe not the most up and up on what century is what years, here are the cliff notes of what's going on in the 1600s. The 100 years cliff notes. The Pilgrims are landing at Plymouth Rock. Isaac Newton discovered gravity.
Good job.
The Taj Mahal is being constructed. And some French aristocrats decided to start splashing some water on their business.
I love the French.
They're
and ever.
Leading us in food, in clothes, in genital hygiene.
Yeah, damn straight they are.
So it is in this century, back where we are right now, that the first bidets appeared in the bedrooms of fancy French people as a second step to the chamber pot process, which I didn't know was a process.
The CPP, the chamber pot process.
Apparently it was a whole ordeal. And to finish up your potting squatting, they invented these rudimentary bidets. And that was essentially a bowl of water in a wooden trough or stool-like piece of furniture.
Sexy.
Always. And if you were curious how these fancy boys and girls use this equipment to bathe their equipment, well, that is where the name comes in. So a bidet actually comes from a French word meaning little horse with short legs, or, in layman's terms, a pony. My saddle is waiting. Squat on it.
I'm not quite following you on how the two are connected, but I'm listening.
So bidet means pony in French.
Okay, but why?
Oh my God, I will tell you. But before I do, just next time you hear Genuine come on at the wedding that you were attending, and everyone's like white people grinding to it, just think about people squatting over a wooden trough, splashing their assholes, and that is a boner killer, let me tell you.
For some.
Ooh, this is splash my asshole kink. Okay, so what was your question again? Why does bidet mean pony?
Exactly.
Well, bidet is a French word for a little horse with short legs, but it actually, the etymology, because I'm a word nerd, not going to lie, so I like to look up where words come from. So the word bidet actually comes from an old French word that means to trot. Like a pony trotting, right? And that word in Old French, bitter. Which, if you've ever seen any kind of little animal move its legs, what does that sound like? Bitter, 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 bitter. Which is just like, what the fuck? How is that a word that describes the movement of an animal? But it is. If you were an ancient French person and you saw a little horse trotting along, you would say, oh, that's a little bit of a bitter. Bidet.
So is this come from the movement that they make from toilet to the bidet?
I mean, it could be. It could be. Another kind of understanding of where the word bidet comes from for using a bidet is the stance you take while using it.
Legs apart, squatting.
Over it. You're sitting on it. You're resting on it because it's a little beast with 4 little short legs. So if you were curious when we said sitting forward, sitting backwards, sitting on a bidet, imagine it's a little tiny horse. And that is how you are...
You're mounting the little tiny horse that is the butt washer.
Yes. You
Okay.
mount the little tiny horse. You spread your buttocks. And you just let that bidet have its way with you. So the name came from the stance you would take, or kind of the illusion of what it looked like when you were using bidet. But its ties to equestrianisms was also furthered by the fact that it was a preferred method of fancy French horsemen of freshening up after a long ride.
Okay. This makes a little bit more sense to me, like the pony aspect is like, okay, you're a rider, you've got swamp ass, and so it's being used by pony riders, horse riders. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
I think it also has to do with the stance that you're just taking on it. 'Cause have you seen the photo? I don't think you have. There's a guy painted people using the bidet.
Oh, geez.
There's a painting of this woman like hiking her skirt up, and she's literally just sitting on it, and it's just like she's straddled it. It looks like she's riding a horse, but that other piece definitely played into a factor because you like you said, swamp ass, more like saddle ass. You're wearing like leather riding pants on a leather saddle. Oh my God, that probably was a fucking
stank.
Yeah, that was fucking natural catastrophe when you got off of that. But yeah. So it definitely has been tied to horses because how you use it, riding horses. The French also, I guess, really like their horses. It is what it is. So bidets through the ages. Modern technology brought modern solutions to that prehistoric problem of
Swamp ass. Sticky ass. Dingleberries.
Yeah. Who invented our butts? Because it's like, it's just a recipe for a disaster. Because we got these clefts. These
we got to sit
clefts,
upright, which means
buttocks.
these cheeks come together.
Just like, there's a lot of junk to get in the way and butts, and we can't reach it to lick it like my dog. I don't know. It's a whole disaster. This whole human condition, disaster. But, they figured out a way to do it. So in the 1700s, the following 100 years, they developed a pump system. So in the early days of a bidet, when I said it was a bowl and a trough, you would straddle it like it's a little pony, and then you'd use your hand to kind of swish.
It's like splash it up or like rub it, because I feel like rubbing it defeats the purpose. Like your ass is clean, but now your hand is shitty.
Yeah, but it's easier to clean your hand. But I believe it was splashing, like splish, 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 splish. You're making little bubbles. Then after that, they were just like, get your fucking hand out of there, you filthy caveman. And they invented a pump. So you would have the water and you would pump it yourself. And then it would make your little geyser
much
clean.
More hygienic.
Yes, because you don't want to be splashing your genitals with the same hand that you're using to be kissed by a knight on later, because that's how you get dysentery.
That's why everyone was so skinny.
And ooh, is that the secret? BRB, I'm gonna go lick my asshole. Look out, Mulan! Here comes your next runway model.
Yeah, if anybody's got a vial of dysentery, let me know.
So that's what they did to kind of cut out the germs on the hand situation. But by the 1800s, this new invention called running water that was sweeping the globe came up.
Woo!
So before this, bidets lived in your bedroom with your chamber pot and all the other necessities of what you used to do there. But when they invented running water, they invented bathrooms, and the bidet moved to the bathrooms, and then there you go. That's how you have your Italian hotels where there is a bidet in the bathroom.
Excellent. I'm here for it. Wait. No, I've been saying that way too much. I don't know why that thing has come into my lexicon. It's very annoying.
It's a young person thing.
I know. It's really stupid. I keep saying it. Yes.
And that's better. Yes.
Yes. Bidets.
Yes.
For the win.
They put it in the bathroom and they hit it with the rest of our shame. And that is the progression of bathrooms. And as running water became more common, bidets began to spread everywhere but the US of A.
The land of the shy assholes.
I did see a map on Reddit that was a visualization of where bidets are common. And, it's in those places we mentioned at the top. And it's also very noticeably missing from the UK, from Ireland, from the Nordic countries. Again, I think we might be getting into some white people shit here. But why did it not catch on everywhere, you might ask? Do you ask that?
Definitely. I mean, like I said, I was jazzed to see it in Europe. I insisted on having it in Italy. So, yeah, why don't people want it? I'm all for a clean butthole.
So I can tell you exactly why. And it is due to the universal fun killer. The one source of in all of the world, the wet blanket we all have come to know and love, the one who can stop the potty party with just a look, and that is, you guessed it, of course, women!
What?
Boo, boo,
What?
boo.
No!
Women are the worst! Women suck, right?
What?
No, just kidding. I'm totally kidding. So it's not women who ruin the party here. It is actually our good friend. You might know them. This is the one who actually bungled the bidet's birth in the U.S. and in other places of the world. Not women, but our dear beloved compatriot, men's fear of the female body.
No.
Whoa. Yes.
Boo.
Oh, so now you're booing. You didn't boo women, but you're booing men.
Men's fear of the female body? Yeah, I'll boo it all day. Boo.
So why did all of this?
All this.
Why did that turn men off from the bidet? Well, let me tell you. Reason 1.
Tell me, sister.
Back when we knew a whole lot less about the female body, we had some interesting ideas about what might actually prevent pregnancy. Because even though our knowledge of how the body works might be new, the desire to prevent having crotch goblins is as old as time.
Absolutely.
So one of the ideas that we had, one of the bright ideas we had was, you have sex, the semen goes into your vagina. What's a good way to prevent pregnancy? Just wash that that bitch out.
I feel like even now this is something that people think that they can douche after sex, and for some reason it's not gonna happen. And I was like, no, you don't understand. If it's already up there, it's already up there. It only takes one.
They're microscopic. You can't see them with your naked eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one that's gonna fuck your life up is already through your cervix by the time you decide to like and squirt.
He's the first one out of the gate. He's up the cervix. He's in your uterus. He's meeting that egg.
Well, and truly, and that just shows you how much life is random, because it's like you think it's all just who was the first one out of the gate. Anyways, and they were fresh. That's like actually a very common thing, is that men like to jack off because they need fresh semen, because fresh semen move faster. I'm not a scientist. I've heard this somewhere. Anyways, the moral of the story is bidets were used as birth control because people thought that they could clean out their vagina and prevent those little swimmers from getting there.
Or they can at least prevent like a yeast infection or whatever other imbalances by washing it out. So you can't prevent pregnancy, but you can just be hygienic after sex.
Yes, so there was a tie to sex, because after you had sex, women would use the bidet to clean everything up, which, I mean, a bidet is very different than a douche, but I imagine if you have a lot of forearm strength and determination, you could turn that pump into a douche.
Way up.
Yeah.
Get that water pressure way up.
Yes. So, from the early days of bidets, it was seen as a dirty thing for dirty women who had dirty sex.
God, what sluts if they wanted to have sex and not have a baby from it. Whew. These day and age in the, 1700s are we in? 1800s?
Yeah, 1600s, 1700s. It's amazing that they weren't all burned at the stakes, these witches getting by.
Burn the witch.
So the idea that they were used for preventing pregnancy also carried over into the idea that bidets became a symbol of sin. So for many American men, the first time they ever saw a bidet was when they were in World War I and they were over in Europe. And, you know, they're living in the barracks, they're living their rough soldier life. The only kind of like exposure that they had to European lifestyle was in brothels. I mean,
shocker.
Yeah, they were over there. They were meeting the ladies of the night of Europe, and one thing that they noticed was that all of them had bidets in their bathroom, or the bathrooms had bidets. So they saw the bidets in the brothels and they associated it with sex work.
That makes sense, because it's not like they were having high tea with like families of Europe. They were only hanging out in brothels. So that was where they saw it. They made the association. That makes sense to me.
They never assumed that, oh, this bidet is here because I'm in Europe. They assumed the bidet is here because bidets are for birth control and I'm in a brothel.
And for prostitutes, yeah.
Exactly. But also, I don't really know how common bidets are. I know they're more common in Europe, but does every bathroom have a bidet? I don't know, but you can't blame these women, because if your business is your business, you're probably going to take a little bit more better care of it too. So, I mean, like...
Yeah, you got to wash that shit. I mean, if your business is your business, no guy wants to come in and, like, see the remnants or taste the remnants of another fella. You know, you need to wash that shit out.
Laura, let's be real. No guy is paying a woman to go down on her.
Okay, fair. I mean, there's got to be a couple that like it, right? Even in, like, the 1910s, there's got to be some guy who wants to go down. It's gotta be.
That's neither here nor there. Okay, so we'll talk about oral sex another day. So even though the fact that bidets are just more common in Europe, this was the GI's only exposure to it, so they brought that home with them. And by then,
along with all other STDs.
That the bidets did not clean off. Obviously, they didn't use it, you fucking idiots. They took their STDs and their swamp ass home to their waiting wives, but the reputation damage was already done to the bidets.
Ew, bidets. I paid to put my dick in that vagina, but they are gross. Bidets are gross.
Yes. And they came back and they brought that uck factor with them. Because when they thought of bidets, they thought of the sins they had committed in the past. So speaking of sins, bidets were also associated with the original sin. That's right. The thing that Eve got because she tasted that sweet, sweet apple. She was punished with her monthlies. And Aunt Flo, that's right. And that's another thing that bidets were very commonly used for, was to clean up that.
Yeah. Man, that just makes me say, I'm like, I do need a bidet in my life. I would love to splash it up in there when I'm on my period. Like, yeah, let's just, because it gets all gross, man.
Yes. And you know what? Menstruation, it really weirds men out. So the fact that a woman might use a bidet to clean up her period is
icky.
Yeah, it's for birth control. It's for women who have sex a lot. It's for menstruation.
We don't want this in our houses. This is disgusting. Get it out of here.
It's like the 3 nails in
the
that
trifecta.
So that's the 3 main things that damaged the 3 parts of the female anatomy that scared men enough to not want bidets in their houses.
Sperm, sex, periods.
Yep, the bidet as birth control, the bidet as a symbol of sin, and the bidet as, a feminine hygiene product. No man is going to willingly buy tampons. Just kidding. I'm sure some do for other purposes. I don't know.
My husband has bought tampons for me.
Yeah, but is it willingly or is it because they're helping out somebody else? Anyways, so just because bidets became taboo, because every part of the female system is taboo in our country, but just because bidets that became associated with the female situation and became taboo doesn't mean that they don't have advocates in the US of A. In 1964, a man named Arnold Conan, who was a water ride enthusiast and businessman.
Of course he's a water ride enthusiast. He's like, I love this water slide. Let's put it in all of our buttholes.
Yeah, that was the joke that I was trying to make just there.
Got it.
But thank you. That's good. That's good because now the listeners know.
Explaining a joke is the best way to do it.
It's the only way to do it. But he was big on bidets, and he wanted to bring them to mainstream America. But while he could not save our souls, America's souls and wallets from the clutches of Charmin, his product, called the sitz bath.
I've heard of a sitz bath. That's an actual term.
Yeah, not a shits bath, but a sitz bath.
Yeah, a sitz bath is like a warm thing of water that you sit in for ailments. Sitz bath.
Okay, well, that's the thing he made. He made bidets. He was really, really trying to get bidets to catch on in the U.S. It did not. But he inspired somebody else who's, I guess, much better. But he got his message in front of a Japanese trading company that would then go introduce.
Freudian slip.
A Freudian slip. A product called the washlet. Which is of modern day fame. How the Japanese have clinched the throne. That's me winking again. The throne from the French as the world leader in bathroom technology. So the biggest advancement from the bidet came to the Japanese, who were just like, yeah, let's bring modern technology into the bathroom. Nobody else wants to do that. And that's why you have all these fancy toilets coming from Japan today that spray your ass, blow dry your ass, massage it, and play Beethoven while happening.
I don't think that they massage it, but I know that they definitely spray it with different temperatures of water. They blow dry it. They do the whole kit and caboodle. So props all around. Prop to Arnold Conan for bringing this to Japan. You know what? Americans were too stupid to adopt it. You found your target market. Props to the Japanese.
Well, he didn't really take. Don't credit the white guy for bringing it over there. He mentioned it, and the Japanese company was like, "Oh, we might be able to do something with that.
Okay. Well, okay, fine. Props to anybody, whoever. I don't know. I like clean.
Whoever did it, you're a fucking marketing genius.
I like clean buttholes, okay? Props to whoever
too.
is responsible for clean buttholes.
Anyone who has saved a pair of underpants from the dreaded skid mark, you are a true hero. And that advanced toilet revolution happened in the 1980s, so it's all still very fresh.
Just like our assholes.
So that brings us to today. Bidets have gotten a bad name, and Americans are dependent. We are dependent on our paper products. We love it.
As we have seen recently.
Yes. So the early days of good old COVID-19 have brought panic, confusion, and the decimation of toilet paper aisles in stores across the country. So this has led to spikes in sales across the industry of bidets, including Tushy.
That's just such a cute name.
A little tush tush. But that is a bidet company that was created by the Thinks Panty Partners.
Are those the period? Underwear
the free
people?
bleed
Okay.
underwear. But I have whenever I can't the P word, I have to say it like panties. I can't say
Panties.
panties is how you say it.
Panties. Are you one of those people who are weirded out by the word panties?
Panties is a weird word. I can't. Anyways, so that's invented by the Thinks people, the Thinks Panty people. In March 2020, Tushy Company saw its first ever $1 million sales day.
Wow. Good for them.
And bidetking.com. He's not quite a .org, but he's working on it. His sales doubled in the early pandemic days as well.
I definitely thought about it. I was like, things are getting rough around here. What alternatives do I have?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my thought was like, yeah, toilet paper might be scarce, but there are a lot of palm plants at IKEA that I can just get my little hooks into and bring home.
I was like strategizing. I'm like, it's spring. There's plenty of leaves outside. I'm not worried.
That's because you were prepared to go into your bunker, you crazy person.
No, I'm a think ahead person. I'm like, I have toilet paper now, but if I don't, it's spring. There's
Do you know
plenty
what
of
else
leaves.
you have, Laura? Is a fucking shower. Just get
I don't always want to take a shower.
Step 1. Spray my ass in the shower.
No. I don't
You
have
have
a
a
spritzer.
tub.
I
You
don't
have a tub
spritzer.
nozzle.
I have a regular shower head.
You
I don't have a
no
spray head.
tubs.
I have a tub, but I don't want to get shit in my tub.
You just kind of like, you put it on the water and you just kind of back it up.
Yeah,
back it
and then I'm
up.
going to get shit in my tub.
Either way, you had plenty of options.
I know. I have a lot. I'm saying I considered all of my
But-
options.
But
Leaves were
Laura
one
was
of those.
going to go foraging for toilet paper.
A spray bottle was one. I wasn't going to make my own toilet paper. I'm
No.
just saying like straight leaves.
I was saying
I
you
got
were,
tons
you just
of
said you were going to go
rags.
foraging for leaves.
I was strategizing, okay? I'm
Laura's
a think
dragging
ahead
her ass
person.
across her front yard.
Like a dog. Just just dragging it.
That's where they come up with the word squeaky clean.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh my gosh. But you were not alone in looking for alternatives, whether that be the front yard or a bidet. So surely the pandemic has changed so much in our lives that we would see a lasting impact, right? As we approach the quote unquote new normal.
Whatever. There's plenty of toilet paper to go around.
Oh, for sure. Maybe bidets can model for us what we can expect the other changes that occurred during the pandemic to do when we make it finally to the other side.
So what's going to stick around?
What is going to stick in this quote-unquote new normal?
What's going to stick in our buttholes in this new normal?
And according to the sales data for bidets, what's going to stick to our assholes? A lot of toilet paper. Because sales for bidets peaked in the pandemic and have not come close to those figures since.
We're not interested. We got our toilet paper. Fuck off, bidets.
Yeah, I mean, it went up a little bit back in November. People thought maybe it would
come back around. Yeah.
Yeah, would happen again, but it peaked in March 2020, but since then has returned to normal. Tushy has even, that company we talked about, has even had their first year-over-year decline in profit in March 2021. But granted, that could be because that's because March 2020 was phenomenal. Everybody wanted a fucking bidet.
Oh, you know companies. They're like, this is what we did last year. We're going to do even better. And you're like, slow your roll.
Yeah, maybe consider the macro environment, dumbass.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sales really, like, looking at the graph, it's like high in March and then low. And then a little spike
normal.
and then boom. I don't want to be a negative Nancy to all those folks who are really enjoying their work from home, but I don't think that our old norms are going to be so easily shirked. And the fact that 1 year of doing something differently, I think we're going to be back to normal. I think
Completely agree.
Yeah, we're going to be back.
There is no new normal. It's just normal.
Yeah, we're going to be back to exactly how we were in 2019, I think, within a year.
Agreed. Or less. I completely agree. You don't take 100 years of normal and change it after, 9 months of panic.
Exactly. So anybody who's engineering the next global pandemic, maybe make it last a little longer so that the rest of us can stay from working from home.
Please don't. Please don't.
Or do. I don't know. It's okay, Laura. They can't hear us anyway. We're not speaking Chinese. So we're going to get back into musings right after this quick break. All right, let's get musingful. Musingful.
Let's get musingful.
We're singing. You picked singing earlier today, and we're sticking with that theme.
I'm
we're
good
back.
with it.
So when we look at bidets, I mean, there are a lot of fucking environmental factors that suggest that bidets are less wasteful, right? Because the American answer to bidet, because, we're not just all walking around with dirty assholes, but you can assume that most of us are. But the ones who aren't, how they're keeping their assholes squeaky clean is they are using fucking wet wipes.
Which you're not supposed to flush. Even though they say flushable, you are not supposed to flush that shit. It will plug up your pipes.
They sure fucking will, because these wet wipes, once they get in contact with fat, they turn into just like a straight cork or a plug, and they will clog everything.
I have a friend who is from Europe, and she does not use wet wipes, but every time she takes a shit, like even in a public bathroom, she's like, I know I'm going to take a shit. She will take a paper towel from like the, paper towel dispenser. She will get it wet, and she will go into the stall. She will do her business. She will wipe as normal, and she will use the towel to squeak that business clean, and then throw it away in the trash can. And she says, she's like, I'm ready for a rim job at any time. This is how I live my life.
She's ready for a rim job at any time. Who is this coming up and rim jobbing her? Jesus Christ.
Who knows? She doesn't know what her day will entail.
That's sexual assault. Nobody should be randomly rim jobbing
No, this is all willing.
I will go on the record and say that nobody, if you have an unexpected rim job, call the police.
No, these are welcome suitors, but she is welcome for a rim job anytime. She just likes to feel clean, and I respect it. Hey, I think that's a good way to live your life, ready at any time to go.
Are you ready to go right now? Would you be comfortable?
No, I am not. No, I need a shower. Like, whoa, I haven't showered in like 3 days.
And that was honestly the question I was going to ask you at the top if you didn't pick the song. I was going to be like, hey, Laura, how's your asshole today?
In need of a bath.
Yeah, same. It was hot. Anyways, so if the wet wipes are bad for the sewers and they're wasteful, that's like paper products. So what do we owe the world? Sure, wet wipes are comfortable for most of us, but is it ethical to keep using them when we know they're wasteful?
I mean, same as anything of like single use products of any kind, plastic, paper, etc., no, we really shouldn't be using them. And I think bidets are awesome. Like they are less wasteful, but honestly, that's lower down the list for me. It's just like they're more effective. There was this Facebook video I saw one time that somebody shared, and I was like, it was so graphic, but I was like, God, that's a good point. And it was so graphic because they were demonstrating the difference between wiping and using water, and they had this clear bowl that was like full of curry sauce, and they were just trying to wipe. I know, right? And they're trying to wipe it up with a paper towel. And on the other side of the video, they're spraying it down with water. And I'm like, that's so accurate. That's so true. And it makes me so uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, and that's exactly it, because a lot of a question that I saw in my research was, would you consider yourself clean if you stepped into your shower and then rubbed yourself down with toilet paper? Like, a lot of people would not be like, yeah, I'm clean now that I like wipe myself down with this paper product.
Yeah, you need moisture in it to definitely get things clean.
Well, yeah, you need the water and you need soap. Soap, that fat and the oils and whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I believe that I did take a Pioneer Camp class once. I went to Pioneer Camp. Don't ask me why.
Did they use a bidet?
They did not use a bidet, but they did teach me why fat and soap makes us cleaner. But we know that bidets are better for us. They're better at cleaning us. They're better for the environment. Like, if you had to think of a way, if you had to make a campaign for bidets, if you were in the Conan man's seat, what would you do to counteract our dependence on paper products? What could you do to save the world, Laura?
I think we've already talked about it. My tagline to the bidet campaign would be ready for a rim job at any time. That would be my campaign.
So you're doing like the Subway method, like bidet, eat fresh.
Exactly. Any day, any time, you are ready to go. I mean, because it doesn't really just relate to rim jobs. It relates to, like, you're fresh anytime. Like, if you're want to have a nooner, I don't have to be like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom with my summer's eve wipe. I've had a long day. I'm sweaty. I want to clean up the vag. It's also just like, go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom throughout the day. I'm already fresh and clean. Let's go, sir. I am ready.
Yeah. I think, appeal to what people like. They like sex. They like
sex sells.
Being attractive. And that's so you could, if you were gonna make a campaign, it would be about being sexy, so being ready for the moment.
Yeah, ready for the moment. I like
the moment is now.
Yeah.
Because I sprayed my genitals and buttocks.
And we are ready to go.
Yeah, so just appeal to people's fears. Because we spend so much time shaving and deodorizing. Right. Why are we not
cleaning our assholes? Why are we not cleaning our assholes? I think this is a really good question. We spend so much time doing all this other shit to make ourselves beautiful, and our assholes are stinky and full of sweat and poo.
And it really comes down to, like we talked about before. So why do bidets make us so squeamish, right? It comes down to feminine hygiene and why we're so weirded out by the equipment that women are working with. The resistance changed.
Yeah.
So as our good friend Conan discovered, like, we had already gotten a really good solid bathroom regimen down. It was really hard to change that. And then also just our Puritan roots make us a bit prude. I mean, I think that goes without saying, is we are just in general, we don't like people interfering with our butts.
I think that nails it all, especially the resistance to change. We've already had a good bathroom habit down. You changing people's most intimate moments is very difficult.
And that is something that Conan said, was that nobody wants to take Tushy Hygiene 101 as an adult. So if we were going to, we talked about our pro bidet campaigns, we would have to start in preschool.
Start with the children.
And but again, if you start spraying children's assholes with water, you're going to get the police called on you.
Maybe I'll start it with Charlotte. We'll start a bidet campaign.
No, don't say that. I'm cutting that out for you
sorry.
Because I don't want you to get CPA called on you or whatever.
For using a bidet on my child?
For sexually assaulting
with a bidet?
I'm going to spray my child's asshole with water. I'm looking out for your family right now. But I appreciate the commitment. I think bidets are the future, and that's I think that's where we're going to leave it. We know in polite society we like 3 to 5 things, because I don't know where I'm going with this.
Number 1, we like clean buttholes.
Number 1, we want you to be confident in your panties. Your panties. We want you to take them down at any moment and know that there's not going to be any embarrassing brown streaks. Number 2,
we love for you to rate, review, and download our podcast.
Yes, all of those things. We love it. We love those things. And if you do them, we will walk away with not clean panties.
Wink, wink, and nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, wink. And we are also very big on the environment, and we don't want to create giant plugs in our septic and sewer systems. So throw away your wet wipes.
Yeah.
Number 4, don't be grossed out by female genitalia.
All right, well, I think that wraps us up. A recap about why bidets make us so squeamish. But here at Impolite Society, we love bidets. Rachel has never used one, but she's on board in theory. Laura loves them. We are ready to go. We're save the environment and save the world one butthole at a time. So get yourself a bidet.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Save the world.
And by cheerleader, I mean your dirty, dirty asshole.
All right, guys, so don't forget to rate, review, and download the podcast. Every little bit helps. Every time you download, that helps our numbers, helps our subscriptions.
We are 2 nobodies trying to cut it in a world of so many podcasts, so any bit of help is mucho appreciated.
And don't forget to follow us on all of our socials, of which we have many. We got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We're on YouTube now, guys. And as always, if you have a rude question, send it to us for us to answer on our Fan Fridays. You got questions, we got answers. You can email them to rude@impolitesocietypodcast.com or reach out to us on any of those channels.
That's right. You send us your rude questions. We will take the browser history hit for you. Don't Google something and risk those ads popping up on your Facebook in an embarrassing way. We will do that for you. My browser history is already shit. I've Googled furries, BDSM, everything in between. Not Mark Wahlberg. Mark Zuckerberg already thinks I'm a fucking deviant. Let me do the Google for you.
We will take that hit for you guys. That's how kind of podcast hosts we are.
Because you are the reason I wake up every morning.
Don't lie.
Well, I wake up every morning because something wakes me up. But the reason I get out of bed is because I have a podcast.
And we have fun. Oh, do I hear drums or maybe swish, 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 swish?
Of water splashing on our anuses?
That's exactly what you hear.
Oh! Ooh. Oh.
She's never even used a bidet.
I can imagine what it feels like.
Imagine what it feels like, y'all. And goodbye.
Imagine in polite society in your asshole.
Don't.
Okay, done.
I like clean buttholes, okay?